Hello, Roaring Lions News Fan Report community. It's your fellow Detroit diehard here, and I can't tell you how electric the atmosphere has been around Allen Park lately. Every day feels like a page turning in the most suspenseful chapter of our Lions resurgence. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a beat of our Motor City saga. Now, let me ask you this. What happens when the rising star you've pegged as the secret weapon suddenly goes down, and the entire offense must pivot on a dime? That's exactly the situation unfolding as word spreads that rookie receiver Dominic Lovett has suffered an abdominal injury, one that's expected to sideline him for at least a week, maybe closer to 10 days. But could this setback actually be the catalyst for something far more intriguing? Imagine the scene. Lovett, the Georgia standout who hauled in 3 catches for 31 yards and dazzled with electric return work in our preseason opener against the Chargers, jogging gingerly off the field, clutching his core, and leaving teammates and coaches exchanging worried glances. The whispers start before the dust even settles. Could this moment pave the way for an unexpected hero to rise? Could a practice squad, standout, or waiver wire pickup seize the opportunity and inject fresh energy into Jared Goff's deep ball timing and Dan Campbell's hard-nosed attack? As fans, we've grown accustomed to imagining breakout performances, like when Amon St. Brown emerged as Goff's safety valve in 2021, hauling in over 90 catches, or when Jameson Williams electrified us with jaw-dropping vertical speed. Now, the question on every Detroit faithful's mind is, who's next in line to carry that torch? Of course, the loss of Lovett's versatility, 607 yards and 6 touchdowns as a senior, plus his role as a lethal gunner on punt coverage, creates a real gap in our plans, especially when you consider our receiver room is already navigating around Amon-Ra's offseason surgery and Jameson's own comeback timeline. But let's not forget, this franchise has history on its side. Remember how Golden Tate turned a few snaps into a career-defining 76-reception season that set this offense alight? Or how Brandon Pettigrew stepped up in critical moments to become Stafford's reliable target? Could we witness a modern echo, with a name we've barely heard yet suddenly owning the headlines? Even head coach Dan Campbell's cool reassurance that they're good, but it's just going to take a minute, rings with both confidence and question marks. A minute in football terms can mean a game, a turning point, or a campaign-defining stretch of plays. When the offensive line is already compensating for Jamarco Jones' ankle issue and the defense is waiting on Allen McNeil's return from a CL rehab, every piece on this roster matters. Could our front office pivot with a savvy midseason move, chasing a veteran playmaker on the open market? Insiders speculate that someone like Allen Robinson, known for crisp route running and sure hands, might be available to plug right into our scheme. Or might we see Isaac Tesla, fresh off a preseason return that went for nearly 20 yards, earn more snaps, and prove that the Lions scouting department has unearthed yet another gem? As the depth chart reshuffles daily, imagine the locker room. Dynamic, a veteran leader stepping up, instilling belief in the room. Or a young hopeful bursting onto the scene with a spark that ignites the entire offense. Could this twist in the tale force a more run-heavy approach, with David Montgomery carving out a statement season? Or will it mean that Goff tightens his chemistry with the remaining targets in a way that silences the doubters? The possibilities stretch in every direction, from a midseason trade whisper to an undrafted rookie making history, each scenario loaded with potential and pitfalls. And as the countdown to Lovett's return ticks down, the anticipation only grows. Which narrative will prove true? Will this adversity spark the emergence of a new green and silver hero? Or will it expose the cracks we thought we'd patch? Stay with me, because the next twist in Detroit's unfolding drama could redefine what this season means for our beloved Lions. If you believe this is the moment that will define our season and the destiny of Detroit's aerial attack, hit that like button and let's finish what we started, because the stakes could not be higher for every soul donning Honolulu blue and silver. Picture the scene. Training camp's shockwave over Lovett's absence morphs into a groundswell of possibility. As Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes face the defining question, do they stand pat, trusting in the existing depth chart, or do they seize the opportunity to orchestrate a game-changing move that could rewrite our identity? Imagine if, amid the anticipation of Lovett's return, the Lions front office quietly adds a veteran like Allen Robinson, whose 838 yards with the Rams in 2021 proved his ability to thrive in any system. Suddenly, our offense shifts from promising to potent overnight, injecting Jared Goff with a target who can line up anywhere and command the matchup. Or consider the internal narrative. Isaac Tesla, fresh off impressive preseason flashes, steps into the spotlight and sparks memories of Golden Tate's 2014 breakout, when a then unheralded receiver hauled in 76 balls, changed the tenor of Stafford's career and galvanized this fan base. Could Tesla become our modern Tate, a gritty underdog whose every catch sends the crowd into a frenzy and forces opposing safeties to account for him first? The contrasts are stark when you think about rival cities. Green Bay's receiving cores limps along behind inconsistent quarterback play. Minnesota's offensive line creaks under age, and Chicago's defense, though fierce, has shown cracks the size of the Mississippi. In Detroit, adversity has always been our crucible. Remember Barry Sanders darting through would-be tacklers as if gravity itself bent to his will, or Matthew Stafford's fourth-quarter heroics that ignited some of the most electrifying nights in Ford Field history. Now, we stand on the brink of our own revival story, one that hinges on the next few decisions this front office makes. If they opt for a waiver wire gamble, we could see someone like Randall Cobb slip in, his 9 seasons of clutch playoff play suddenly available to a team desperate for that veteran savvy. On the other hand, trusting our own talent pipeline could unveil a diamond in the rough, a receiver whose untapped potential finally bursts into flame when given that fleeting chance. The ripple effect would reverberate throughout the roster. David Montgomery's bruising runs will become even more effective when defenses respect the deep threat. Jahmyr Gibbs' explosive speed could be unleashed in play action, and the offensive line, already buoyed by Taylor Decker's return, would get a blueprint for protecting a quarterback whose chemistry with his targets grows stronger by the snap. From the stands, we can almost hear the crescendo, the call of Lions, echoing across the north end zone as a rookie snags a game-winning touchdown under the lights, or a seasoned pro reminds us why he was once a Pro Bowler. This is about more than numbers on a stat sheet. It's about reclaiming our roar, the collective heartbeat that pumps through every valley and peak of our city. It's about shifting from the team that almost did it, the one that broke hearts in 2014 and faltered in those heartbreaking playoff exits, to the franchise that conquers expectations and writes its own narrative. And when that whistle blows on opening night, we'll know whether this twist in our tail, the absence that forced a decision, the gamble that unlocked a new weapon, will become the legend that ushers us back to playoff relevance, or whether it will be remembered as a stumble on the path to glory. The spotlight is on Holmes, it's on Campbell, and it's on every player who answers the call in Lovett's stead. But it's also on us, the fans, whose unwavering devotion transforms every reception into revelation and every touchdown into triumph. So gear up, Detroit, because the carnival of momentum is about to descend upon Ford Field, and the first snap of that game will either spark the phoenix of our offense or leave us yearning for what could have been. In the end, the answer waits. On the turf, under the glare of stadium lights, where the next hero will rise or where we will rise together, united in the belief that this is our time to roar.